What a game. All right, I don't know where to start with this game, so let's start right at the very fucking end. Justin Champagnie tips the ball with less than a second to go, goes in, doesn't count. He was like 0.1, 0.2 seconds too late. Oh my god, I'm gonna need a lot more of these after that one. This is Kent. Kent loves people but hates being touched by them, so he is not comfortable right now. Thirsty? It's a Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays! But anyways, the Raptors comeback falls short, but they should never have had to come back anyways. The Thunder in the third quarter went on a 25-3 run. 25-3? Raps scored a total of 12 points in the third quarter. It was an ugly one. It was just not ideal. They led for the majority of the game, and then they blew it in the third quarter. Fourth quarter comes around, they go on like a 25-8 run and bring it back to a tie game. Everybody was knocking down their clutch shots. Freddie knocked down like 3 triples in the clutch. God, that guy's like our Damian Lillard. Gary Trent Jr. knocked down a 3. Pascal Siakam knocked down a 3. And for whatever goddamn reason, Nick Nurse called on Justin Champagnie, and that boy answered. He knocked down a clutch acrobatic layup. It was fucking filthy. Yeah, so Justin Champagnie's acrobatic layup gave us the lead with like just less than 20 seconds left or something. And then Mike Muscala, the Moose, comes down, buries a triple like it was nothing, gives them the lead. 1 point game, and then Nick Nurse calls a timeout and draws up one of the worst fucking plays I've ever seen. Listen, I love Nicky Nurse. I'm a humongous fan of Nicky, but Jesus, sometimes his play calls are just atrocious. Oh, we got 8.9 seconds left. Give it to our 6-foot guard. Let him hold the ball for the first 6 seconds, then drive into the paint and try and put a layup over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and their center. Not a layup, a floater. Even better, right? Long story short, got blocked, went straight up in the air. Justin Champagnie's tip goes in too late. It was almost a moment for Justin Champagnie. It was really hype at that moment, but unfortunately, did not count. It is what it is. You can't win them all. Yo, you guys like this shirt? Thrifted it the other day. I don't love the sleeves, how they're going out like this. They make my arms look smaller. I don't like that, and it kind of just looks goofy. My arms are small enough already. But regardless, it said We the North. I'm a big Raps guy. Anyways! Where the fuck is my laptop? Not upstairs! It was in the bathroom. This is Allie. She's much more friendly than Kent, but right now she wants to go outside, so she's kind of being a little prick. We got our first guest. No, so we're gonna move straight into our segments today. First of all, we got Scotty's Stars. This is basically a segment where we talk about the top 3 players of the game, like the 3 stars in the NHL. So we got third star, which is the third best player of the game, second star, first star, self-explanatory. Now, for the third star, I'm giving it to my man, Fred VanVleet. I'd love to put him second star, but he just played so badly for the first 3 quarters that I couldn't bring myself to do it. He really turned up in the fourth quarter, though, I will say that. And he finished with a great stat line, so maybe he deserves to be second, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Fred VanVleet finished with 19 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 rebounds and an assist away from a triple-double? Jesus. Our second star of the game today goes to none other than Gary Trent Jr. He finished with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Gary Trent Jr. was knocking down shots all game long. You know, he's knocking them down in the first quarter, really giving us the lead, honestly. And then in the clutch, he had a great pass to Fred VanVleet for his last 3. And then he had a triple of his own in the corner. Great stuff all around from Gary Trent Jr. And our first star of the game, once again, back-to-back MVPs, Pascal Siakam. Spicy P does it again. He follows up his 31-point performance with 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Another great game from our one and only All-Star. Check it out, guys. Took the Band-Aid off my finger. You know, it's not even that bad. I can't. This is a terrible angle. It's really not that bad anymore. When I first cut it, it was pretty gross. Yo, Ken, we got a heated floor in the bathroom, so he sleeps in there constantly. Oh, he's giving me the eye now. He means business. Anyways, we're gonna move on to our Watanabe the fuck segment of the game, and that has to go to that very last possession. What the fuck was that play that Nick Nurse drew up? I mean, you can do so many other things. Fred VanVleet, I believe, was the inbounder, and he just kicked it into Pascal Siakam. Siakam caught it, passed it right back to Fred. Fred just held onto the ball, did some dribbles like 4 feet behind the 3-point line, then eventually drove into the middle of the paint, threw up a floater, had it blocked. That's just bad play calling, and I can't get over that. Nick Nurse is becoming notorious for just terrible play calls at the end of the game. You remember last season, there was like 3 different games when he just drew up a play for Norman Powell at the top of the 3-point line to just pull up, and he would miss every single fucking time. I love Norm to death, but he just wasn't making those. Or, if it wasn't that, it was just give it to Pascal Siakam and let's hope for the best. And Pascal Siakam would go in there, he'd do a spin, and he'd do a layup, and it would spin around the rim like 4 times and then spill out. He just wasn't getting his bounces. And so maybe if he was getting his bounces, I wouldn't be so hard on Nick Nurse, but just because the success rate on his end of the game calls is just so low. I watched all the Star Wars movies recently. I've never actually seen them. Don't like murder me, but I never actually saw them before, like a few weeks ago. Very good movies. How come no one told me that? I love doing impressions, and every time I do an impression, it's the exact same thing. It's that big gross bug dude. I forget his name. I don't think he's a bug, but that guy who owned Anakin and his mother before Qui-Gon and then came and got him. For example, here's my impression of Michael Cera from the movie Superbad. Hey, come on! What's a guy gotta do to get laid around here? Hey, this girl's too drunk, come on! What's the big idea? Flawless execution. I fucking love Michael Cera, what a guy. Superbad chicks giving me McLovin'. You would think I ran the world like Michelle's husband. Anyways, this game, kind of tragic. Not a good game all around. You know, you like to see the boys perform a little bit better, but they didn't. On to the next one. Hopefully we can take a W against the Knicks tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m., 7:30 Eastern. Anyways, thank you guys a shit ton for watching. Means a lot, boys. Really appreciate it. Wow. December 14th, the Raptors play the Nets. The 16th, they play the Bulls. 18th, they play the Warriors. That's a tough 3-game stretch. Any Hoosers, take care.